kidding me? This is Sideways Talk with Riff Johnson. Go get him, Mr. Riff.
I'm falling sideways under your gaze. How can I...
And we're back with another episode here, Sideways Talk with Riff Johnson, repping the Star Wars brand. It's kind of funny. I was stacking a bunch of these up in one day, so I'm like literally doing a wardrobe change, and got Casey Freedom over here. He's like, "What's going on?" Dude, Casey, so on the other coast, we're in Maine right now. Pretty much the opposite of Maine. If you could cut the United States in half and mirror it, Maine is, however this looks. Way over here, Casey Freedom's in Washington, not too far from Seattle, Washington. How you doing, man?
Doing good, Riff. Thanks for having me on.
Very good. So I met Casey in Arlington, which he had to remind me where it was. Arlington, Washington. We did a show together at the Public House, Mirkwood Public House.
Mirkwood.
That was cool.
Yes.
Dude, that stage was cool. That was awesome.
It is a very cool stage. Yeah, it's got some. It's definitely haunted. Definitely a haunted building. I've learned. So it's exciting. It kind of fits the vibe.
Cool.
But yeah, I play there about once a week, and yeah, nice big stage, good people.
Yep. Yeah, very good. Do you want to just move to the side a little bit? Sorry, just to get a little more center. Oh, perfect, dude, perfect. Sorry, I should have told you that earlier, but you know.
Oh, that's okay.
You can't see the program that I'm using, but after it's done, hopefully this will all make sense. Done, looks fine. Very very fine there, sir. It's incredible to me just that I can talk to Casey way over there on the West Coast, and it's pretty much like you're here.
Yeah.
Only it's although I think both days it's kind of rainy here and cloudy, and so if it's similar.
Yeah. It's pretty gray out. It's not raining, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's cold.
One thing I got to say about that area when I was visiting, I've been there twice. My friend Sharon is awesome. She lives in Marysville, so not far from you at all. Mm-hmm. And I remember going to like Planet Fitness and going in, and the people behind the counter are so nice. Like everywhere, Dunkin', Domino's, I don't know, wherever we went, people are so nice. And I told them, I go, because I just come from 2 months of like Texas, Phoenix, and California, like 2 months straight of sun and desert. And I came up there and it was cloudy almost every day. And I told the people, I'm like, you guys are so upbeat. Like it amazes me. I think even Dave Grohl talks about that kind of stuff in his book.
Yeah. That
it just blows me away that you guys like what is it? Do you just drink a lot? I mean, how do you guys say so cool?
Oh, kind of like Ireland or something. Yeah, when it's gray.
Yeah.
Well, you came with decent weather, and people they just get hit of vitamin D, and they just turn around really fast.
Dude, that's funny.
All of us do.
That's great. Yeah, you must
get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Like Sharon will be like, "Oh my goodness, it's sunny today." They're so excited, and like, "Oh wow, it's a different way of life, but it's cool, man." That was the first time it felt more like Maine to me when I got up in that area from Oregon up, and I was just like, "Okay, this feels more like Maine," because there's a big part when I left there and went down like through Nashville to Florida and across. It's also different, but that felt a lot more, and the folks at the shows felt more. Oh, and I discovered this on my last trip.
Oh, that's a good find.
This is
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon.
Old Trapper. It's solid jerky.
Yeah, Forest Grove, Oregon. And I found that literally in Oregon. And then as we came up to like Seattle, it was everywhere. And it's at Walmart here in Maine. I couldn't believe it. It's at Walmart for way cheaper. It's like 11 something a bag for a 10-ounce bag. So it's a better deal. So anyway,
the truckers must have brought it back. That's the good.
They must have, but I never heard of it before, and I mean I'm a big fan of jerky, so that was cool. I already had a couple pieces today. Like literally, I thought about just getting it for like Christmas presents. It's so good, but I'm like, oh, it's at Walmart, and nobody seems to know about it, but it's there.
That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we are not sponsored by Walmart, not yet. I don't know if I honestly don't think I'd want that. It's not a cool enough sponsorship. People hate Walmart.
I heard the other day that they do run a music festival and like.
Oh really?
It's like Alabama or something. Yeah,
I'm gonna look into that. That would be awesome.
they have like their own like underground like music festivals that they run.
That's a good question for you. Is there anything big like that? I mean, you're near Seattle. There's got to be some things that are pretty sizable for festivals and yearly.
Yeah, and some of them kind of dissipated, post COVID. Some of them are coming back around. One of the big local ones is a festival. It used to be free. It was like $5, and then it was maybe $20. It's called Bumbershoot, and I think they're making a comeback. I didn't go this year, but that one's a big one, and they used to have just huge acts, and it would be sponsored by the city and stuff, and see just crazy big touring act.
Oh, we got a little bit of interference here. Hold on. Let's see where we're at. We're gonna keep it going.
The big stuff is usually over in like the gorge.
All right, hold on a second, Casey. I missed a little bit of that. It froze up, and it could just be on my end. Let me just check real quick. What does this thing say? All right, like it just came up in front of your face. There we go. It's gone now. All right, I don't know. Sorry. So I heard it used to be like $10, $5 or whatever, and then I didn't hear much after that. You want to just repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, so this big local festival called Bumbershoot used to be huge in the 80s and 90s. And I think they paused it during COVID, and I believe it's back online. That's probably one of the big ones. There's also one called Folk Life, and I believe that one is still free. And that brings people from all over the country and all on. Folk Life's usually local, like downtown Seattle classic festival.
Nice.
The other big events are mostly, I would say, over at the Gorge. I don't know if you've heard, if you hear about like a lot of times like Brandy Carla will be at the Gorge, Dave Matthews, or they'll have big festivals out there, and that's more Eastern Washington, but that's probably the other like big venue where events will come through in festivals.
At the Gorge, that's cool. Well, okay, and what was the name of that first one you said? The Bumper Fest?
Bumbershoot, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
I think they're back this year, and maybe it's like $20 now or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Sign up a little bit.
That's cool though. Yeah, I think a lot of people. I had a friend that moved out to Seattle back, kind of like, I think it was like late in the 90s or something. He was kind of trying to catch some of that big, Cornell, Alice in Chains vibe going on, Nirvana thing, and I don't know. I think he said he missed the boat on the big movement, the
big wave.
But there's still, I mean, it's a cool place, and probably a place where music's still such a big thing, and people they go out, and I think Dave Grohl says something about like being a lot of underground clubs and places. And probably in Seattle, there's a lot more. I spent a little bit of time there. Went to see Bruce Lee's grave. That was my big accomplishment.
Nice over on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see. Yeah, and then of course the original Starbucks. Forget trying to get in there. That place was packed.
They got a long line.
Yeah. I didn't even get inside, but it was kind of cool just to see it. I have a friend that works for Starbucks that she's kind of a corporate type. She hasn't been there yet, so that's on her list of places to go. Huge.
Yeah, they
huge
have a
stuff.
different logo. It's
Yep.
mermaid. Yeah,
It's really weird. I took a
cool.
picture with it. That's strange. The original logo. I guess they decided to make it a little more commercial or something.
Yeah.
And they had people like throwing the fish around. They didn't really throw the fish around. They were throwing like bags of squid or something. But that was kind of cool. That's a touristy thing to do.
Oh yeah, that's out of Pike Place, and I actually recently got a busker permit.
Oh.
It was something I'd thought about for years, but then they kind of closed down for a while during COVID.
Yeah.
It's been coming up, and there's all these little designated spots for busking. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Kind of tap into the local history.
Dude.
And so I've gone down there quite a few times at the market when it's super crazy crowded with like cruise ship tourists and stuff. Just playing on the side of the street, and it's pretty fun.
That's cool. What's wild about that? It's literally like a mirror of what we have here in Bar Harbor, Maine, which is the East
Okay.
Coast, and the tour ships come in. I played a couple weeks ago down there. It's just a crazy show, but it was at a venue. But you could, I mean, you
Okay.
could. I don't even think you need permits there. I don't know about busking there, but Pike Place is definitely. It was even crazier there. I saw some little 10-year-old kid singing and playing, and it was awesome. He was on a little stage right near where the flowers and all that stuff
Awesome.
is. Yeah, right on the corner. And he was just jamming out, and I was like, holy cow. I'm like, at 10, I was probably listening to CNC Music Factory on the local radio station, like some pop stuff. I don't even know what a guitar was.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing?
Let's see. I've been playing guitar since either 12 or
Yeah.
13.
Or at about 12 or 13?
I know it was middle school.
Yeah.
I got a guitar for there's like 2 times a year the Guitar Center actually gives it like an actual real sale, and then another sale. And my mom got me electric from a Fender Stratocaster for 4th of July sale. And I started playing Led Zeppelin, learning all the classics and all that.
Oh man, that's cool. I think I was,
Jimi Hendrix and all.
yeah, I was in high school. I was about 16. Yeah, I never even heard of Metallica, and I got educated. It's cool.
It makes it fun when it's fresh and new, though.
Oh, definitely. And Pink Floyd, it took me a little while to get into, and that's like one of my favorites now. It's amazing stuff. So we played a show right there in Arlington, Washington together, and you played just before I did, and you could tell, and everybody was great. Everybody that plays was really good, and I was just like, man, this guy's just got I got a really great sound, and I apologize now for saying JC Freedom from the stage.
I usually get Chris. People look like a Chris, so
Yeah.
I'm like, "Hi, I'm Casey," and they're like, "Yeah, nice to meet you, Chris." So I'm used to it.
That's so,
JC sounds kind of cool.
like a pop artist.
Yeah.
If things don't go well with the Off the Grid and all that stuff, just go pop.
Yeah.
I'm JC. That's great.
It didn't sound at all. It was all good.
Yeah. Thank you. So a little bit of background about you. I guess what you're doing, your background a little bit. Like you said, you started playing guitar around 12 or 13. Just so a little bit about your past, where you are now, what you're doing, and you can kind of promote yourself a little bit if you like.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been a singer. I grew up doing since first grade, all up through high school into college. Took a break during college, and then got back into choirs. To be honest, I didn't really guitar and singing till I was maybe 20, 21, somewhere in there. Because it was kind of like a whole adventure. And then playing on stage like that, probably somewhere around 2016. Because as you know, leading a song with guitar or piano and singing, it's kind of a different exercise, if you will.
Definitely.
Yeah, and so I've been playing solo shows since probably 2016, right around there, where I started doing it regularly on the weekends and at open mics and jams and stuff. And then in recent years, I've been writing. It took me 3 years, but I did cut a record finally, and I got 7 original songs on there and made a CD, and that came on June 17th.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna press vinyls for that later. Like I think it's in the fall when it might come around. But yeah, that kind of slow, gradual climb. And I went to college for music, originally for guitar, at the University of Oregon, and I held on to that for a couple of years. And once I started getting back into singing, choirs and vocal lessons, it kind of opened everything up for me a little bit. So I was getting kind of stuck on the guitar thing.
Yeah.
It was like once I backed off, then it all started connecting a little bit better. And yeah, I kind of found my like real solo place in college. And expect I used to be like a bass or a baritone.
Yeah.
Because I could. The teachers would say, "Oh, you could technically sing in this range," and so I would sing those low bass and like medium bass. Then I went to college and did vocal lessons and found out I was a tenor. It's like, what?
Oh.
Since when? Just kind of restart on my singing, and so then the singing kind of took the lead, and so that's what I've been doing ever since.
Cool, man. I checked out some of your stuff and your video. So the one song that I really noticed, which I'm sure is on your album, there is that "Off the Grid" song. It's
Yes.
very good. I think you have it like somewhere hidden in there. Your album.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Check this out.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Snap! There he is, dude. That cover's so cool. It's like an old school.
I wanted to pay homage to some of the cool
you did
country
that,
stuff.
You did that because you knew it was going to be on vinyl and it was going to look cool. Look at that.
Precisely. Yeah. It's a little small on the CD.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a buddy down in Los Angeles that does that like almost full time.
Yeah.
And I say, hey,
dude, it's crazy.
Can you do it up good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Full size.
The records are just getting back in effect again. It's so busy that there's such a waiting period now, and I think more people are starting up and doing more. You're seeing more places that are printing out records and stuff. It's pretty cool. I've never been a big fan. I have a lot of friends that are, and they just have record players and whatever, and I'm sure it's good, but I'm like, I'm just gonna look it up on my phone, man. I'm just like,
it's definitely less accessible. Yeah.
But
cool. It is fun to have the artwork in your notes and like have a big tangible thing to look at and grab.
Yeah, that is cool.
So
and people love it. I mean, most people, music fanatics love that stuff, and it's cool to have another thing. I mean, another merch thing that you can sell if people like who you are, and they, and hopefully more people keep coming in. But yeah, that song. Off the Grid, very very witty, very good, well written, and what do you suppose your style is? If you had to explain it, ish.
I'm not. It kind of depends. I mean, because there's like my history of music, and then like kind of what I'm on. Those things are connected in a way, but I'm not super conscious of it. I think I might fit in the Americana lane.
I think so.
And a lot of days I'm called country, depending what bar I'm in.
That's funny.
Bars, it's not country enough.
Yeah.
And in other bars, it's, you're doing traditional country. I'm like, cool. Okay. And it's all, I don't know. I like it to music school. Like music is music. It's fluid. There's all these, things like genres are kind of confusing. And I'm like, and all that, and that all inspires me, and I play something differently. So these days, I guess I saw a term like 4 months, country hyphen folk, country folk. Yep. I'm like that resonates with me because my guitar at least is more young, John Denver, a little bit of bluegrass kind of stuff mixed in with my other guitar work. So country folk had a nice ring to it, depending on the music.
Man. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna fix your name here so you fit my screen a little better. There we go. Casey Freedom. Okay, sorry. You didn't see any of that happen, but that just happened. No. I moved your name over a little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Americana's good. That's a good. I mean, Tom Petty is like the ultimate Americana, right?
Totally.
And there's definitely some of those elements. But no, it was good, man. I'm not a big country fan. If anybody will, but I have a lot of friends that are actually great country artists, and I will plan to have them on my podcast too. 80s and 90s country, I love it. And honestly, some of that old stuff, my dad listened to that, so I know tons of the Marty Robbins and oh my gosh, all kinds of, and
Oh
everyone loves Johnny Cash.
hmm
But it's just so funny. So a lot of country bars, we don't play. We turn them down. I don't really play,
Yeah.
but I can play some. It's just that's a tough thing for me. I mean, so you play what you love, which is what you should do. I have a set list, like a request list on my website, and you can go and it's just a spreadsheet of just you can scroll down, look at all the stuff that gives people ideas when I do requests. And I took over 100 off. I took over 100 country songs off there because I was in Nashville and I was like, well, I guess I can play this and this and this. And then I was just kind of like, I don't really want to. so I'd rather play. I'm a big 80s fanatic, so I love all that stuff. 80s and
Yeah.
90s is big. But I love to play some 50s and 60s and a little bit of modern stuff. That Ed Sheeran guy, he's all right. He might have a good career ahead of him.
Yeah.
Unreal, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, and actually, I think Post Malone's cool. I think he's got some cool stuff.
He
There's
is
a
cool.
lot. There's a lot of great artists. Of course, out from your way was like Nirvana. You guys, did you ever get to meet anybody cool? I think I asked you that. Like anybody cool? Between
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. It's funny because from in the outside world, it's seen and it's connected and it's illustrated. And then when you meet the people, they're like, oh, no, there's just all these bands and musicians who are rotating around. And some of them you saw on TV, some you didn't. Some were grinding out for 10 years, 8 years, or anybody heard their songs.
Yep.
It's all, I worked with a recording studio where they recorded a lot of like those big records, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and stuff like that. And so the guys was in the room working on those records back in the day. And so, what's strange is it happens less in Seattle, but when I'm out in like the rural areas and suburbs, I'll bump into people and they'll say, hey, I really like that Lane Staley, that cover you did of Rooster or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And then they'll say, oh, I used to drink beer with Chris Cornell, in 93. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so I have met a few like local ones for sure, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, I used to play bass with so and so, and you're like, huh? Oh, like in passing. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Like, oh, and you guys are kind of suburbs near Snohomish. There's some areas where some of the musicians actually live, and they're not necessarily in Seattle. You might not see them that often anymore. And so there's definitely some people in the, kind of, off the grid.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Little push for the song. That's a great music video too. Yeah. That came out good, man. That music video, like the quality.
Thank you. That's just me and my buddy.
Yeah.
He's been he's doing some commercial work, and was like, I want to do a music video with you. That would be fun. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And so I gave him like a super serious love song. And then I gave him like this kind of silly wild song. He's like, "That's the one."
Oh,
I was like,
well,
"Okay."
That's pretty good to just not necessarily be someone that does that and to say, "Oh, I'd like to do that," because it came out good. Like some of the angles and stuff, and some of the way it moved was pretty natural.
Yeah, he was very intentional with it. He had the vision, and I asked him to kind of do his thing, which is it's like scary, right? Because it's like your art, but it's also freeing because I'm like, can I trust you to do your cool art, your part, and I will let you do that. Yeah, whatever. And so he had a vision. I don't know what a vision. Like a video. I don't know. So he had like a whole, story ready to go, and I was like, cool. I'll just be your actor. Yeah. And we staged like a house. It was a real miniature house party. The beer is real beer. And it's just an excuse to have some neighbors over and friends and have a little and family. Yeah. And it was funny. It was good times.
No, that's nice. Yeah, it is funny. My friend Subban does some video work with me, and he always just wants to be so prepared. He's just like, okay, let's write this down. Let's like storyboard this and do this. And I'm just like, can we wing it? It's so bad. I think the musicians are like that. We're just like,
oh yeah,
I guess I'll just do this. I'll play over here, and but I usually get a lot of ideas what I want to do. The last one I think was just it's just interesting. I'm interested to see what he came up with on my new song. It was just at one of the bars I played at. I literally had 4 of my friends come out that aren't even on it. I just record all my own instruments on my album, and they just like pretending to play. And I have one friend just pretending to beatbox.
That's perfect.
It's just,
Oh yeah.
I think it'll be fun. I'll be interested to see what he gets from it.
It's the music part was absolutely hilarious to me. I thought it was a blast.
Yeah.
Because I was like teaching her how to hold drumsticks, and I was like, okay, you do this, and then you're gonna try to look like you're doing this, and don't worry about it. We'll edit it later, and then you guys see it later. You're like, you can't tell I'm not drumming.
Yep. Awesome.
It's all in time.
It is, yeah. The same guy that was beatboxing on my first video, he literally has a snare drum and he's just doing this. He has no idea. He just got a cool beard and he's a friend of mine, and I just like the guy. And it's just so funny, but I think that helps when people they might just hear your music, they don't know who you are. It helps, I think, humanize who we are. That's actually part of the podcast, I hope, is that people just see that just normal people, and the stuff I do, I just have a silly way about me. So if it's a little silly in the video, it's okay. It's part of what I do.
Yeah.
So, just don't take it too seriously.
It gets to just like the whole picture. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. So the areas you're playing, so I'm sure, are you able to do music full time, or do you have a job on the side of you, or the other way around, music on the side?
Yeah, so I've mostly played music on the weekends, and it's gotten to a good spot where I'm I told someone the other day, I'm playing music every weekend, I like it or not. It's like, I'll book a certain amount of gigs, and then I'll get a call, hey, some guy bailed, can you come downtown and do this thing? Yeah. Okay, cool. No, full time. I have a 9 to 5. I operate a landscape construction company.
Yeah.
And it's a family business, and I've been working that job for 10 years.
Nice.
And so I'll check in with the boss. Hey, can I go do this gig? And, yep, you got your good to go.
Man, I'm glad he's not a dick.
So it's yeah. And people laugh. Oh, it's a Tuesday. Does your work allow you to do that? I'm like, let me check. Yep, all good. It's 11 at night. There's no construction going on, so all good. So it's a kind of a wild thing to balance, but I don't know. I don't know if I could full-time. I don't know. I know some full-time musicians. It can. That looks tough in its own way, in a different way. Because I know my chaotic way. It's okay. I work 3 and I'm driving for 2 hours to play a 3-hour gig, and then I'm gonna be exhausted and wake up in the morning, and my kids at 7 a.m.
Wow.
It's fun. It makes it exciting. It's exciting, and it's not maybe for everybody to be doing it that way.
Yeah.
But then it's takes some of the stress off, where it's like, oh, I'm making some money, cool. Not like, oh God, I have to make money, on this gig. Like, I don't envy that.
Yeah.
When I meet my buddies that are touring musicians.
Yeah.
And the drought period that they'll have sounds very stressful to me.
Yep.
It would be hard to adapt to.
Dude, touring musicians do well if they can just perpetuate what they're doing.
Right?
They're like doing well
without your body falling apart.
That too. I don't know how. I mean, I do know how full bands do it, but that's a lot, man. Oh, actually convincing a bunch of guys to even go do that is quite a feat. But I just solo's a little easier. But still, just full time is tricky, because you hit those parts where it's like, oh, I don't have much going on. I don't have much going on from Seattle to Maine. We really booked hard this route. Yeah, so it's just, but it's good. But I got to Maine, and it's like, I'm so busy now. It's great. Maine's wonderful. It's my home state. But then as I venture out, I'm hoping to get more popular, I guess, in other areas and people out. Do you So but you still do kind of play in a band sometimes. You kind of just fill in or whatever. Because I miss playing in a band. I loved it, but I'm a solo artist now.
Right. Most of the stuff I book solo. Last few years, I've been doing a lot of duo work.
Yep.
This most recent weekend, for example, I was a little bit of solo and band stuff, where like that's not like my band per se, but it's guys I play with some clearly, and they mostly know my the set list kind of deal, and they had their own band doing a gig, and so we like split the weekend. They're like, we need music from 3 to 9, and we're like, cool. Oh, I played with some of the dudes from that band.
Yeah.
While some of them are hanging out, and then they all got on stage at like 6 o'clock and played in the band, and it's kind of a different deal. And I'm meeting more and more people where I can kind of gel with and just kind of jump in with like a day's notice. Because with work kids, practice is, what's a practice? I could just pull the strings hard enough to work in a show. And so practice is like this crazy concept these days.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could do once a month kind of thing. But I'm meeting musicians, as I get more and maybe get a little better at, leading a group of people. I'm able to play with some better players that can just kind of pick it up and go.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that part's exciting. And I've played in bands before where it's know each other and it's the same songs, and that's kind of a different vibe I've noticed.
Yep.
It's the whole social thing is very different.
Yeah.
Where it's just is more like, hey, I need these guys for this job. Can you do that job? Okay, cool. All right. We get along. And play some music and food and whatever.
Yeah.
So I have like one guy I've been routinely playing with who's a guitarist and also a bass player. And we've done a lot of duos and the occasional band stuff, but it's not as concrete. It's more like, I don't know, maybe we need a drummer for that gig. Yeah. And country's kind of an anomaly. It's maybe a bit like jazz where there's plenty of gigs where it's not a drummer or no need or maybe no stage for a drummer. And so it goes just fine sometimes with guitar and bass or 2 guitars and a bass, no drums. So that's new for me. That's different. And then when it's a day call, then it's like the honky tonk setup. Then it's like full band drums and all that, and that's cool. That's fun, as you know. The energy in the full band is magnetic. Yeah, it's really cool.
Eventually, I'd like, if I was in a position to make that worth it. Where people can get paid or whatever, or if I was with I'm not totally opposed to taking a deal where I could be in a full band and tour. That'd be fun. That'd be so much fun. A lot of stuff I write is full. It's full production. It's for a full band, but I can do it all solo too. But I think it's just like you said, that energy. It can be way more powerful. And I'd love to come out with like an electric. I don't even know how to play electric anymore. I've been playing this this acoustic here, and I've been recording on a Fender Telecaster on this album, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just I miss playing lead so much, like real electric.
Oh, it's
lead.
fun.
Yeah, it's kind of making me want to be in a band again. But I don't know. At some point, maybe I think it would be better received as a full thing. But for now, it's it is what it is. It's been wonderful traveling and meeting people like you. Which was great, man. It was a pleasant surprise, and the mac and cheese was fantastic there.
Got some good food there.
Dude.
Yeah, they got some.
And half off for musicians, just saying.
Yeah, that goes a long way.
It sure does. I'm gonna add the other screen here, so it's literally. Oh, I think you just moved. Hold on, I did something. That's all right though. It still fits. So there's some information there. Casey Freedom, he's a musician from Washington, Seattle. From where is your home base? Is it like Arlington area?
It is. It's called Lake Stevens.
Lake Stevens, all right.
It's about, I wouldn't guess with traffic how far from Seattle. In the morning, it's 30 from downtown Seattle, but right now, in the middle of the at 10 a.m., it's probably an hour 20 minutes away. So, but it's a 20 minutes from Arlington where we played.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, not far. From being from Maine, here it's like traffic isn't even a thing. So I've never wanted to know time. I'm like, how far is it? How many miles? That can drastically change when you get anywhere outside of Maine. I found that out.
Right.
LA is ridiculous too.
Yeah, place like Texas where it's just like, oh, it's 80 miles. So it's what if you're going 90 miles an hour? Okay, I'll be there in 6 minutes. And I'm like, 80 miles here? That could be a day. Yeah. Depending with traffic where you're going. Maybe 4 hours of driving.
As I was looking, I don't think I've hit. No, we hit some pretty good traffic in Oregon and in Seattle. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it looks like it's set up to have some traffic happen, but I think when it does happen, it's like bleh. It's like most big cities. It's just it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's at CaseyFreedom.com. Not JC Freedom. That's so funny. I literally was on stage like he said JC, right? And Paige later no, it's Casey. I was like, oh god. No wonder I couldn't find you. I was like, I'm trying to find you online, and there was no JC Freedom. That's so funny. Yeah, man, that's cool. I was glad to have you on. It's kind of funny doing the video version of this. I just did audio and had people in person doing it, and but it's so funny the response from people that were like, "Yeah, I'd be on a podcast," and it's great. And I hope that you some of my fans get to become some of your fans. I'm gonna steal some of your fans. I hope. Jeez.
Good.
We can share. We can share. Steal. Like I'll be like my anti Casey Freedom website blog.
See, you might capture like Gen Z kids with your cover of Toto that you did.
Oh
there.
Yeah.
Especially as a solo when it starts building up. I knew the second it clicked and it's like, I hear. But it would like creep up on people, and it's like, yes.
And I think, I think Weezer helped make that big again too.
Yes, they brought Africa to the main stage. Yeah,
and I believe it had Weird Al on that track too. Somehow,
probably
he was doing keyboards or something.
The high, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Something.
That was pretty.
Hear an accordion, I don't think, but
no, I don't think it was a recording, but I think he's in there. He did something with him, I think. It's pretty cool. They were just here in Maine like a week ago. I didn't see him. I had another show. I wish I'd gone, but I heard it was fantastic. That's a band that's been great forever. I don't know where they're from originally. Seattle? No, I don't know.
I don't know. Weezer? I'm not sure actually.
I'm not either. Not at all. But I like them, and I would like to see them. That Rivers Cuomo guy is just a great guitar player. Like better than he lets on.
He's a guitar player. Oh, totally. Yeah, he's sneaky. There's a few guitarists like that. I mean, people know more now with like John Mayer, but our players, when they spend most of the years doing, the singing thing, you see them on TV, and then you go to their show and you're like, wait, what the hell? This guy shreds.
Yeah.
Rivers, he's a total 80s head. Just absolute metal, shredder. But they're like sneaking it into pop songs.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I used to be into that all the time. It's just so funny now, just playing acoustic. It's like I lost a lot of that. I could probably get it back if I sat down with an electric. I've been thinking, actually, contemplating trying to use a Fender Telecaster at my live shows. Okay. I'm just wondering if I can get the mix between at least really clean and almost acoustic sounding to that lead, like the being able to pull off a lead with my pedal and stuff. I don't know. I'm giving some
warm
thought.
Up, fill out the sound. Yeah.
But
a lot of people play that middle pickup on the telly, I've learned.
Yeah, it sounds
more
good.
than I would expect.
Yeah, I've recorded a little bit with it, and it just sounds so good. So hopefully my friend Jared will let me borrow it for a show. I'm going to give it a try. Bring that and my guitar. If it doesn't work out, I'll just switch back to my guitar. So then I might have to buy one. Just saying.
Yeah, that's what I've got these days. I've got acoustic, and then I have a telly, and I'm usually solo, so I don't get a chance to do the leads. I do some of the lead stuff on the acoustic, but it's nice to get out and grab the electric, crank it up.
Yep.
It's fun.
Yep. I miss doing that stuff. Yeah. Used to could, but maybe could again. Maybe will again at some point.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm glad to have you on. What are we at? I just now today found out there's a thing down here that shows how long I've been recording. Just about 40 minutes. I haven't yet figured out the length of what everything should be. I think an hour and under is reasonable. I mean, if there's really a lot to say, we could go an hour and a half.
Okay.
But I'd say so. So if people want to find you, it's CaseyFreedom.com, and coming to shows and stuff. I mean, I don't know if I have much of a reach out in the Pacific Northwest, but you can kind of mention. You have a regular gig, pretty much, or is it just kind of like you just kind of jump into like Mirkwood and places?
Yeah, I'm pretty ADD, and so but I do have like some regular open mics that I go to. Wednesdays at the Mirkwood. It's kind of a cool regional thing, and it's been building up, and it, I was playing with a local musician, the name of Savannah Woods, and she was on The Voice.
Oh, cool.
But locally, she's like, that's Savannah, we rock out, whatever.
Yep.
And so people kind of make their kind of celebrity appearance. And I was like, this is a solid jam.
Cool. Man.
And so I'll make an effort to do that during the week. And then the weekend, it's pretty sporadic. I jump around.
Yeah.
So,
is a lot of it on your website, like your schedule and stuff, or is it just literally you're just kind of?
Yeah, I try to keep up to that on Facebook at Casey Freedom Music.
Oh yeah.
And I'll usually post like events or shows, a couple weeks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm on Instagram, and then I have some silly videos on TikTok too.
Oh, nice, good. Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm on there too. Mine aren't as silly as they probably should be. I'd have more followers, but it's just, I don't know. It's a funny world we live in. Yeah, and all that stuff. I'm gonna add that. So when this becomes an actual YouTube video, I'll add.
Cool.
I'll have to get all that stuff from you, and I'll just add all your websites and I'll like add maybe a link to the to the off the grid video, which I think is really cool. That's good.
Thank you.
It's well done.
Thank
that
you.
impressed me. It impressed me enough to say, all right, we'll try to get Casey on the show.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. And it's like, and my buddy you clued me in on it. He's like, you ought to have like a visual medium, your music and what your or whatever personality is. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like right over my head. So
definitely, it's crazy, man. Even those TikToks, like Reels and stuff now, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, those kind of things, Facebook Reels. It's just so weird. It's just funny that people are just swiping constantly, just video, and if they come across someone they like, oh, maybe this is someone I can follow. So those little tiny clips of, I mean, I'll do it for this. I'll grab something cool that we talked about, and I'll just send it to you like reel form, and you can add it as a reel if you want, or just share mine, whatever you want to do, and who knows, maybe people will finally find us and like us. Finally. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, it's like part of the whole game.
Yeah, pushing yourself, whoring yourself out. It's funny, but you kind of need to do it, man. So it's cool. So yeah. So that's awesome, man. I hope people got a good feel for who you are. I didn't know a lot of stuff. I was talking to Paige earlier. She goes, I kind of like to know a little bit about Casey's story. He was really nice. I mean, you obviously came on the stage and had something about you that like this guy, this is something he does. Not that the other guys were.
That's good to know.
At all. Yeah.
It looked like I knew what I was doing.
It did. Yeah. You fooled us. You fooled.
Good.
But yeah, and that was a cool venue. That was great. Yeah, I hope to make maybe we'll do it again at some point here. I'm sure we'll be back up around, and at least we'll get together and say hi, grab lunch or something, or go to some other show and heckle other musicians. That'd be fun.
Oh no, I can do that for sure.
Excellent.
It's a good way to support our friends.
Yes. Yeah, and it always
crowd
helps.
Noise.
Yeah, it always helps meeting new people too. So very cool. All right, so CaseyFreedom.com, also on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. We'll try to link that below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, just CaseyFreedom.com. He's the only one that I know of. So cool.
So far, yeah.
All right, brother, man. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, keep rocking, man. See ya.
See ya.
Whoops, hold on. Where's the damn button? Right there.
I'm falling sideways